It seemed like a period of bereavement for Swamiji, for it was only a few years earlier in 1943 that his guru Swami Mehtab Kak had attained Mahasamadhi. And for all his yogic equipoise, Swami Lakshman Ju for once felt deeply sad. As the crowd of devotees began swelling, Swamiji shifted to a newly constructed ashram in 1959 that was more accessible to his devotees. Located on the Zabarwan foothills, the ashram complex soon became the new Ishwar Ashram, a title derived from the name Ishwar Swarup given to Swamiji by Sharika Devi. This is a video recording of the temple Swamiji established within the ashram in 1984. The shrine is dedicated to Amriteshwar Bhairav, the deity who showers upon his devotees the bliss of Samavesh or absorption. Swamiji himself directed and participated in every ritual of its consecration, including the installation of the holy lingam. A favorite haunt of Swamiji's was this wooden pavilion that he frequented in the afternoons. It was here that he usually sat in meditation. Another wooden structure Swamiji built in the late 80s was the Parabhairav Dham, or Throne of Parabhairav. The spiritual aura of Swamiji can still be felt years later in his ashram and the house he inhabited. One can still picture Swamiji in this room in the midst of all his spiritual contemplations. The satsang hall near the entrance of the ashram was another important addition created to receive various scholars and foreign devotees. And while the Havanshala and the illustrations are of more recent origin, it still reverberates with the mantras of oblations on special occasions. As the mystique of Swamiji's spirituality gradually spread, he began in his quest to engage the celebrated saints and scholars of the era. It was in his early 20s that Brahmachari Lakshman met Maharshi Raman, the sage of Arunachalam. It was also around this time that he met the great yogi Sri Aurobindo at Pondicherry. In 1968, Maharshi Mahesh Yogi and his retinue of followers called on Swamiji. So impressed was the Maharshi that he made it a point to meet Swamiji the following year to understand the mysteries of the Shaiv texts. It was these meetings that inspired the Maharshi's disciples like John and Dennis Hughes, and later George Barcelar, to devote themselves completely to the study of Shaiv thought and philosophy. Among the other spiritual leaders he was intimate with were Sri Bal Krishan Das, a much revered saint of Vrindavan, Swami Ranganathanda of the Ramakrishna Mission, and Swami Muktanand Paramhans of the Siddha Yog Peeth. Rishikesh, on the swerving banks of the Ganga, was one of Swamiji's favorite retreats. Here, during one of his visits, he met one of the most dynamic spiritual leaders of the time, Swami Shivanand, founder of the Divine Life Society. The society had for its aim the service of humanity as the service of God. In keeping with the spirit of the place, Swamiji nursed leprosy patients in the society. Not surprisingly, Swami Shivanand would often call Swamiji the Lion of Kashmir Shaivism. Swamiji had set in motion a great renaissance of the non-dual tradition of Kashmir Shaivism. And this extraordinary phenomenon was gaining momentum through his Sunday classes and discourses. His mastery over the Sanskrit language and vast knowledge of the sacred Kashmir Shaiv texts drew seekers in ever-increasing numbers. Most importantly, his interpretation of the inner meanings and his unique experience of living the truths contained in them made him the most authentic voice of Kashmir Shaivism. Which brings us to the point. Was Swami Ramju aware of the role his grand disciple was to play in the spread of Kashmir Shaivism?
It's interesting to note that Swami Ram had a clear picture of the vision of Kashmir Shaivism for the future. I've been told that it was Swami Ram who requested the then Maharaja, Pratap Singh, to form a research institute to collect all the material of Kashmir Shaivism, collect all the different manuscripts, go from house to house, and have this all under one roof. And that started in late 1800s. But he knew Swamiji's future. He made it very clear that Swamiji would be a great Shaivacharya. And his previous request to the Maharaja, Pratap Singh, found its fulfillment when Swamiji was 16 or 17 years old, and he now wanted to study Shaiva literature. It was all there. This is the insight of Swami Ram, Swamiji's grand master.
And not only did he read these scriptures, he lived them in his day-to-day life, and he demonstrated them. He was not a mere armchair philosopher to read books and go in for discussions with great scholars.
It was said that in 1957 or 58, devotees approached Swamiji and asked him to write a booklet on Krama system. Krama system deals with the aspect of Kalis, 12 Kalis, which is unique to Kashmir Shaivism. Swamiji was reluctant to give this knowledge out because it was from the Krama system, which is a system handed down by word of mouth. But somehow fearing that it would be lost, he assented to their request and produced a booklet.
Swamiji's scholarly interest had by now surfaced in the Hindi translation of Kramanaya Pradipika in 1958 and his commentary on Utpal Dev's Shiv Stotravali, published in 1964.
Swamiji had a unique way of explaining any of the literature of Kashmir Shaivism, and he always spoke from a level of authority, real authority, on the particular text that he was working. For instance, once he was translating a verse from Shiva Stotravali, and a scholar pointed out that this translation differed quite a significantly, from Kemraja's own commentary, Swamiji simply, with great command, said, just listen to my words, because I have entered the heart of Utpaladeva. And this was true of Swamiji no matter which text he was working on, but particularly the Shiva Stotrabali, where some of the verses would be so emotional for Swamiji that he himself would have tears rolling as he explained the profoundness of that text.
Another notable thing about recitation of Shiva Stotrabali, or for the matter of that, any other book, was that he would say that if you don't get that strike, if it doesn't strike the chord of your love, try some other rag, and he used to suggest that do it in Yogya, do it in such and such rag, Bhairav, till it would really make a person cry. And he would say that till then you should keep on changing different tunes, different rhymes, so that tears gush out.
Interestingly, it was in Varanasi, the abode of Lord Shiv, where Swamiji's genius was acknowledged for the first time outside the valley. Participating at the All India Tantra Mahasammelan in the Sampurnanand Sanskrit University, his paper on Kundalini Vigyan Rahasyam created quite an impact. The entire intellectual circle of Varanasi was amazed and enthralled by the depth of Swamiji's knowledge. In fact, an honorary degree of D.Litt was conferred on Swamiji by the organizers of the Mahasammelan. His association with Varanasi deepened further with his relationship to Acharya Rameshwar Jha, himself a scholar of great reputation. The great scholar Thakur Jaydev Singh was another who acknowledged his indebtedness to Swamiji in all his translations of Kashmir Shaiv texts.
और इसके बाद मैंने तंत्रसार लिखा। तो तंत्रसार लिखने के बाद भी मेरे अंदर ये एक तर्क था, एक आंतरिक जिज्ञासा थी कि किसी महापुरुष से इसको प्रमाणित होना चाहिए। इस जिज्ञासा के अनुसार मैं उन्हीं के शिष्य श्री रामेश्वर झा नाम के यहाँ विद्वान थे, उनसे जाके मिला। उन्होंने ही ये कहा था कि इस विषय के एक ईश्वर स्वरूप विद्वान, साक्षात शिव स्वरूप कश्मीर में रहते हैं, आप उनसे मिल सकते हैं। तंत्रसार जिस समय मैंने उनको उनके कर कमलों में रखा, उसी समय वो देख करके प्रसन्न हो गए। इतनी प्रसन्नता उनके चेहरे पर आई, उन्होंने हमारी तरफ देखा और जैसे लगता था कि कोई ऐसा आकर्षण, अलौकिक आकर्षण हम दोनों में हो गया है। मैं उनके चरणों में गिर पड़ा, उन्होंने हमारे सिर पर हाथ रखा। मैंने फिर तंत्रालोक को जो लिखा तो एक पर एक, एक पर एक, एक पर एक, संस्कृत यूनिवर्सिटी के लोग आश्चर्यचकित रहते थे।
The image of the relatively unknown brahmachari had by now metamorphosized into that of Swami Lakshman Ji, the greatest living master of both textual and oral traditions of non-dual Shaivism of Kashmir.